In 3.11 Harvest League, we're getting some massive two-hander updates, and the major way that they're doing that is through the new Slam archetype. Will this be the buff that two-handers need to be a worthwhile choice compared to the alternatives? We'll have to see. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Big Ducks, and in this video we're going to be talking about the new changes to Slams that got released a day or so ago. Now, it took me a little bit to get to this video because I wanted to actually play a Slam character first because it's been some time. So I played the Slam character on stream and we tested Vol Earthquake. And I gotta say, Earthquake was pretty solid for leveling up. A little slow in the early game until you get Earthquake, but once you do and once you actually figure things out, it's pretty solid. Now remember, if you want to support me and the things that I do, make sure to like this video and consider subscribing for more content similar to this. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now in 3.11, we are getting some massive changes to a lot of stuff, actually. War cries, we're getting a new archetype called Slams, we're getting brand changes, we're getting all kinds of stuff. But in this video, we are talking about Slams. Now the first thing to talk about when it comes to Slams is the new Red Boy support. Now this support is called the Fist of War support. If you know about Mirage Archer, that's basically what this is, however slightly different. We've gotten a little bit more information here in that the Fist of War support works with all slams except for Vol slams, so keep that in mind, and it also doesn't work with Ancestral Warchief. Every few seconds this Ancestor, the Red Boy, is going to pop out of your back and it's going to slam with you at the same time, meaning it's going to make the slam much larger and it's going to make it do more damage. So we have a list of the abilities that are actually going to work with Fist of War, that being Ground Slam, Tectonic Slam, Earthquake, Earth Shatter, the new ability we'll talk about in a moment, Sunder, Ice Crash, Consecrated Path, Perforate, Leap Slam, and Doriani's Touch. So yes, Doriani's Touch is now a slam. So we've kind of gotten the list now of what slams are going to actually be slams that the Fist of War support will work with. Now they specifically mentioned that it's not going to work with Ancestral Warchief, and they mentioned it in the same breath as Vol slams. I think that means that Ancestral Warchief is probably going to be a slam as well. But let's talk about Earth Shatter. So Earth Shatter is the new attack that we're getting as a slam. Now this one is pretty interesting because the closest thing that I can liken it to is going to be like Essence Drain and Contagion. What Earth Shatter does is that you hit the ground and it leaves a bunch of little, I don't know what they call them, fissures, spikes that are on the ground. And whenever you use a Warcry or another slam ability in their area, they explode for more damage. So it's kind of just a 1-2 punch that you get with this new ability. So the idea being here is that you can Earth Shatter and then you can do a Warcry, and that's gonna be the natural gameplay loop anyways, so it should make that pretty smooth. Now something that I'm wondering about is that it says that other slams can take care of it as well. So will General's Warcry with all of your little minions, if they're linked to a slam, will they be able to proc all of these fissures for you? That would be pretty interesting. And also, as I said previously, those little spikes that they leave in the ground, well, when they explode all the other spikes around them as well. Hence the comparison to ED Contagion. So this should be pretty interesting. It's a level 12 slam attack, so we're gonna get this early. When I was leveling with Earthquake recently, I tended to use Ground Slam as I was leveling very early on. Earth Shatter might be better than that. We're gonna have to see. So moving on to the next ability that we have is Tectonic Slam. Now, Tectonic Slam is a little bit different now than it used to be. The biggest change is probably the fact that it doesn't have just a chance to consume Endurance Charge constantly. It consumes an Endurance Charge on the third attack every time now. And what this does on the third attack is it spreads out additional cracks in the ground and makes it a much larger attack. However, when you're attacking normally, it counts you having Endurance Charges as giving you the additional effect. So this should make it so that you don't have to expend and worry about Endurance Charge generation so much. And it makes me wonder if the Endurance Charge line of the Chieftain, the one towards the top, that allows you to generate Endurance Charges, is that even really going to be worthwhile anymore? I think that Endurance Charges are going to be pretty easy to come by. I mean, you could just have your Warcry going like an Enduring Cry, have that on your left click with instant Warcries, and then you don't really need to worry about anything, right? Do we even need that little section there that gives us Endurance Charges? Maybe it's better to go another Ascendancy now. I'm not sure. We're going to have to see. The next ability that they talked about is Perforate. Now, Perforate's getting some pretty interesting changes here. It now provides flat physical damage that scales as the gem levels. So that means that we're getting some added physical damage to the gem, meaning it's going to be a little bit better for leveling early on. So the big changes to the gameplay, however, is that while Perforate is in Blood stance, the spikes that come out of it are going to be much more condensed now. That means that they're all going to be focused on the same target. And also, the issue that you had with Sand Stance before is that it would go out in like 5 or 6 directions and there'd be all this extra area in between. Well, now they're adding additional spikes into it just by gem level, and they're also going to be making it so that the AoE of that attack is much larger, so you're gonna have an easier time hitting more things. That makes me think that for any gladiator starts that are out there, Perforate's gonna be even better, maybe even better than Frostblades, we'll have to see. One thing to keep in mind though is that increases in AoE are going to negatively affect blood stance, but positively affect sand stance. So if you get more AoE, those little spikes that are coming out of the blood stance version aren't going to hit as many of the same targets, but it will give your actual clear version a little bit better chance of hitting things. Now beyond that, the last skill that's getting major changes is Sunder. Now you may remember from way back in the day that Sunder boys were kind of a meme in the PoE universe. So Sunder was the ability that literally every single person used as their starter skill when they were playing a melee ability. It just did more damage than everything else, it did more clear than anything else, more single target. It was just the best all-around starter ability that you could even get, to the point where we had, you know, Bex, one of the people at GGG, calling someone a Sunder boy. So that's how big that it got, right? So the thing that they're changing with Sunder is that they're going to make it a much more wide ability, and they're making it so that the little cascade that comes out is much slower, but it's also going to be much longer. Now the caveat here is that if you do multiple Sunders in a row, that cascade that's going out is going to stop. It's actually going to just stop where it's at and start the next cascade. So it kind of gives you an incentive to make it hit harder instead of faster. So their goals here look like they're trying to make it a little bit easier to clear, but making it so that you don't focus so much on just rapid hitting attacks, so that it's better for two-handers and it's meant to be a two-handed ability. Other than that, we're getting some numerical changes to Earthquake, Ground Slam, and Ice Crash. They're just going to be getting some number tweaks. I think that Earthquake actually functions pretty well as it is. Ground Slam, I think, could have used maybe a little something, but I guess they're not giving anything to Ground Slam. And Ice Crash was already a cool ability, it just kind of wasn't that great of numbers, you know? So I'm kind of leaning towards Ice Crash after seeing how awesome it looks when it takes up the entire screen, right? Other than that, they said a lot of the other skills are just getting visual reworks, as well as the ability to work with the new Red Boy support. So my thoughts on how all of this is going to turn out, well, I played Vol Earthquake and just standard Earthquake while leveling as one of my League starter attempts. And honestly, it was up there, right? I think that it was one of the better ones that I did. And surprisingly, it performed better than a lot of stuff that I thought was just inherently better than it. So there's a chance that I've kind of been overlooking the large two-handed slam abilities already. And on top of that, they're only getting buffed going forward. I used Earthquake in particular, and Earthquake is just getting more numerical numbers. It's going to be able to be supported by the Red Boy support. It's going to be able to have the Fists of War. It's going to have all of the changes to the skill tree, the slam tag, all of that good stuff. So it's actually looking pretty solid as a League starter to be using just any of the generic slam skills. Like I said, I personally used Earthquake, but I think that Ice Crash and all of the other ones are going to actually be pretty solid. And as weird as this might seem, I might be starting 3.11 Harvest League as a slam skill. Like maybe Earthquake or Ice Crash might be my starter legitimately after trying it out. So let me know what you guys think about the new slam skills. If you've tested them recently, make sure to leave a comment down below about what your thoughts are on it, because it worked really well for me. I streamed it over on Twitch. You can catch the VOD over there if you want to go look at it. It'll be up for probably another month. So I'll also be doing a video here soon, just going over the different starters that I tried. And then a couple days before, when we get the patch notes, I'll actually be putting out the full starter guide video that I do for each of the leagues. So make sure to look out for those. So remember, stay safe out there in Ray class, and maybe we're gonna get to slam in the next patch. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.